If there's one thing that I've learned from all of these conversations is that there are many different pathways to entrepreneurship, from students to research to starting from the bottom, or, as in the case of my next guest, starting from the top of a very successful corporate career. Irene Tsang moved from Hong Kong to Melbourne as a solo parent with 2 young children. And over 100 conversations with women, she discovered that there was a gap that only she could fill with Lift Women, her crowdfunding platform. This is how Irene Tsang is making it in Melbourne. I am here with Irene Tsang, the founder and CEO of Lift Women, and I'm so excited for this conversation, Irene. We have known each other for a few years now, where I've been watching you build and grow your business, and we've been part of the same portfolio of the Alice Anderson Fund, which is so exciting. And so this is a real treat to have a chat with you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Now, first of all, let me talk about your decision to arrive in Melbourne, because you grew up in Hong Kong, and from what I know about you, you had a pretty impressive corporate career, massive portfolio. Good job. What made you leave all that and come to Melbourne, and not just by yourself, but with young kids as well?
Well, to be honest, that was one of the hardest decisions of my life. At that time, I was giving up a very promising corporate career, a very attractive corporate paycheck, amazing team, good bosses and friends, network, or like a very familiar world that I've been growing up with. And it's very tough. But I guess it's also my lived experience that gave me a different perspective. I lost my parents, both my parents, when I was young. And then I was going through divorce. And that was the moment that I start to ask myself some deeper questions, like what truly matters in life and what kind of life and lifestyle I want to build for myself and my 2 young children. And that's when I have that aha moment that maybe I wanted to move. And then when I was in Hong Kong, I work in a corporate life, the Hong Kong corporate life. I work from 8 to 8 most of the days. And I often traveled a lot, and then have attend evening meetings all the times, or event functions. But like I flew business class all the time, meet celebrities, dine in some of the most amazing restaurant in the world. So on paper, that was like a life that most of the people aspired. But I think I don't have time for my kids. And then because I divorced, I know that I'm a single mom. And then if I don't give them the time at that time, then I couldn't buy back the time with them. So I guess that's the moment that I really decided that I have to change. And coming to Melbourne, coming to Australia, was trying to give them options in the future and trying to give them the best chance in life. Because I admire the environment here, the upbringing of the children, the way they teach, the way they inspire young generations to think. So I think that will be a better place for them to grow up.
You were on this amazing track, and I don't think in that journey to date you had thought about being an entrepreneur. And yet when COVID hit in 2020, something changed in you. You observed some changes, and this triggered this entrepreneurial drive. What did you notice about people that made you want to help and change your direction?
During COVID, a lot of people suffering, a lot of small business closed down. And what I witnessed is women suffer the most. And then because they still have that, caring responsibilities and families' responsibilities on their shoulder. So they have to look after their kids, look after the families, and sometimes lost their jobs. And then I start to coach women around me. I'm pretty good at doing that and coaching them because of my corporate background in strategy, finance, marketing. Then I put problems and the tools together, and I create Lift Women. It started as a small initiative to try to support women to go through the difficult time, regain their financial independence. And then we just started from there, and we gone viral in a very short period of time. I know that if someone, especially women, if they can have some sort of financial independence, they have options in life, it's life-changing for family, for herself, for the communities. And that's why I always so fascinated by anything, any technology that can facilitate that to happen, or what we call close the gender finance gap. Yeah.
So you're seeing gaps in venture funding, you're seeing gaps in people being unbanked and having that financial confidence, and also the flow of, I guess, the crowdfunding money in Asia Pacific compared to the rest of the world. So all of this put together, and you've created Lift Women, which is a movement, a platform, all sorts of things. Tell me about Lift Women. What is it?
So Lift Women started as Australia's first crowdfunding platform dedicated for women. We support women and empower women to raise non-dilutive capital to start their businesses.
What does non-dilutive capital mean for those of us listening who might not be in the finance or business world?
Non-dilutive means it doesn't take away your share and ownership of the company, what we call equity. So dilutive means you have to give away the ownership of the company in return for the capital. But non-dilutive means you retain 100% of the ownership of the company.
Oh, we like that. So we're keeping our ownership of our company and we're raising funds from the crowd, as the term crowdfunding would suggest.
Correct.
So tell me a bit about what I might experience as a user. So if I'm logging on to Lift Women, the website, what will I see there?
When you when you go to the website of Lift Women, you will see lots of projects for women founders. So if you are a supporters or anyone in the community that want to support a women-owned businesses, you can choose the projects that inspired you or connect with you or resonate with you, and then you can back them by choosing some of the rewards they offer and then pay it forward and pledge their projects. And if you are a woman looking for starting a business or aspiring starting a business or scaling a business, then you can create a project on Lift Women to raise funds from the community or anyone around the world who are interested in your products or want to support you. And we've just launched a new versions of the website that embed AI tools in there that can help you to launch a project in minutes.
Oh, that's amazing. Because, I mean, one of the biggest challenges, I think, of seeking funding as often a first-time woman founder or maybe even a multiple-time founder is that time and confidence to put into a campaign to raise that money. And so the kinds of projects that you support, they range from somebody writing a book to a creative project to big startups with tech. Tell me a little bit about the kinds of businesses that are supported through Lift Women.
Wow, it's a very wide range. We support business from product to service to technology.
Mm-hmm. And once again, it's giving people the option. It's another option in which capital can flow to them that isn't a bank loan, that isn't an angel investor or venture capital. I love that. Now, tell me about the process of building Lift Women, because it obviously didn't. You had all this inspiration coming from different parts of your life and your observations, but you also then learnt directly from the women themselves about what they needed, because you did how many consultations, like 100 free consultations during the build?
Yes. I actually started Lift Women during pandemic lockdown. I have 2 young kids at home homeschooling, so that was unforgettable experience. So I have no experience in starting a business, but thanks to my corporate background, so I kind of know from scratch like how you build things, strategize, financial modeling, and marketing. So at that time, once I built, I knew that crowdfunding wasn't something that really popular. And maybe a lot of women don't really know about it, or even they know about it, they don't know how to go about it. So what I did was I offer free consultation. So just for one purpose is wanted to reach out to more women and be able to teach them how it works and convince them to give it a go. So what happened was then, I got booked in like 100 calls within 2 months, I think.
Wow.
Every day, because I offer like 30 minutes free consultation. So every day my consultations are from 8 to 8. And I keep talking, like a non-stop talking. It was so fun. And the more consultations I did, like the more that I realized I'm actually really good at it. And I enjoy doing it.
And you're onto something.
Yes. And what's life-changing moment for me was like every time when I started a call, the woman was a little bit unsure and not sure where to go and didn't really have the confidence. But after that short 30 minutes, they see hope, they feel hopeful, and they feel energized, and they regain that confidence. And they actually say, okay, Irene, I'm going to give it a go. I'll do it. And then the conversions of that consultation was super high. It's like more than 80% of the women that I did a call, they started the crowdfunding projects. And that's also when we be able to launch 100 projects within 2 months.
I want to understand how you bridge the gap between your amazing business acumen and the technology required to actually build the platform. Like, how did you kind of bridge that tech gap, and what did you do for those who might not be a technical founder?
Wow. Okay. So first of all is, I guess, again, my corporate background gave me a little bit of the tech background or tech experience, not building the tech, but at least I know what it takes to coordinate with the technology side. I have done UAT, UR, which is the user testing or user requirement write-up before. So I kind of know this terminology. So when I started Lift Women, I actually contacted a local boutique marketing firm. They can help me build website. At that time, my thinking was very simple. I say, I'm here to support local businesses. So I was like, might as well. I hired a local marketing firm to help me. So then that's when I start talking to local firms, and I hire them to build that for me as like, on the side. For me, then I wrote my own requirement. I wrote my own UR, user requirement, and then I did my own testing, give them some feedback. I also learned how to do it along the way. And it's good at the beginning, but also some failure later on along the way. But that's how I start to learn. And then I do some self-learning as well. And later on is, I guess, I try to find good technology partner. I got connected with a tech guy that he helped start up to build technology. And I actually asked him, hey, look, do you think this is a good idea? And he actually challenged me. He was like, no, you can't help all the businesses. Where's your niche? So, and it's actually got me thinking, refined my niche, refined my target customer. So that actually is one of the lessons that I've learned, is the importance of finding someone that you trust to talk to before you're starting your business or building your model.
Yeah, I think surrounding ourselves with the right people is it's a theme that comes up over and over again. And I think that's also why it's so cool to see founders like yourself, ready to pay it back and help the next generation of people come through. Okay, so we've built Lift Women, we've got the website, we've got over 100 projects in 2 months, and now we're looking to raise some capital. So I understand that you were tapping your network, having those conversations. What success have you had to date in terms of funding this business?
Well, today I have raised 1.3 million.
Okay, snaps for that.
Yeah. So 2 rounds. I've raised a pre-seed 2 years ago, and then I just closed a seed round. I was very lucky at that pre-seed stage. I've got 2 incredible angel investors supporting me when Lift Women was just, having that 2 months experience, and it's just mostly on the PowerPoint and paper. I've also got the support from Launchweek through the Alice Edison Fund. These support means the world to me. And they also help me build the foundations. At that time, because I know that crowdfunding or Lift Women, it's going to be sort of finance platform supporting people's finance and wealth, which then I know I need credibility. So what better than having governments back up and also having some incredible senior executive to back you up. And this gives you the credibility that you need to tell people that, hey, look, I'm serious about that. I'm legit. I'm really here to build something that can help. Yeah.
I think that's so important to understand, I guess, the signals that you're sending through the people that you work with and that you bring on as investors and advisors.
And I actually want to share a really inspiring story or life-changing moment was when I first thinking about raising capital, then through LinkedIn, I reached out to my ex-boss. And then when I reached out to him through LinkedIn, I wasn't saying about raising capital. I was just saying, like, I'm doing this. Can I, pick your brain on strategies? And then he said, sure. And then we had a call. And then that's when everything started. Then he said, how about this? You build a pitch deck and then you try to pitch to me. Because you're going to pitch to a lot of male investor in the future. So maybe you pitch to me, I'll give you some feedback. And that's when I did the pitch deck, pitch to him. And then he said, how about this? You build a financial model next week and present to me. So that's when I built that. And I present to him and say, okay, then write me a 12 months marketing plan. So then maybe I can invest in you. That's what I did. So he basically got me through that journey.
Wow.
And then he brought in another incredible investor. So that's how we started.
Some early angels.
Yes. And then for the first 12 months, we actually have caught up like once every fortnight, just to keep me grounded, tap my shoulder. You've been doing a great job. Keep going.
So important.
Oh my God, that's just so critical.
And this is the thing I think with entrepreneurship sometimes is the story often circles the founder, but there are so many people who have a role to play in making it in Melbourne and in building entrepreneurs. It's the supporters, it's the people that you've met along the way, it's those who come in with the right advice. I think that everyone plays a part in it. Now, I'm going to move us along to your key strengths as being, I guess, a cultural bridge. So you can speak corporate, you can speak startup, you can also speak English, Cantonese, Mandarin. You've moved in between different worlds. How does this, I guess, show up as a superpower for you at work?
I love that of myself. I guess first it's mindset. I've grown up in Hong Kong, cosmopolitan cities, very diverse. And then for my corporate work, I got the chance to work across 18 APAC market. That also gave me incredible vision and perspective on different culture. So that's how I get to know different peoples, different countries, different cultural. What I realized was there are beauty in each and every heritage. And then we can learn so much from each other. I always so inspired. And I always curious, how do they do that? And, how does this going to work in your country? Because that's also part of my corporate job is we need to localize things while maintaining our strength. So when I came to Australia, me as a migrant, I learned a lot as well. I learned from the country how they put family first, the loving culture, the welcome and inclusive culture, how they articulate impact and how they look after the environment. All of these is quite different from what I've learned from city. I can say I was a city girl, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of those things actually opened my eyes, opened my vision. And then how people interact, I really love that. And so to me, I love bridging the gap. And so for all the programs and all the founders that we do, we're very diverse. And I always bring founders from Asia to meet with the founders in Australia, and also the other way around. And then what I observed and found was we are so inspired and energized by each other's culture. To me, I guess it's just have to stay open-minded and always look for the things that we could improve and we could learn from each other.
It's such a beautiful way to think about, bringing the different parts of yourself together, but also the role that you play and being the glue for all those different parts of culture and corporate. Now, I'm going to ask you about this beautiful city that we live in Melbourne, that you chose to bring your family to. If you were going to write a promotional tweet about Melbourne to convince any other migrant to build their business here, what would you tell them? What would it be?
Well, I think Melbourne is the best place to live and start a business. The reason is Melbourne is so diverse, multicultural, and beautiful. So except the weather, which is 4 seasons a day, it took me a while to adapt. But look, Melbourne has Australian Open, Formula One, beautiful sports event, international sports event. They have incredible art culture. They have beautiful museums. They have the best coffee. And they have great food, the Vietnamese pho, all this sort of food. And it's just so beautiful. And I love that it has the feeling of city, business hubs and centers, but it's also allow you to enjoy life and have that balanced lifestyle. From my personal experience, when I first came to Melbourne, I feel so welcomed. Mm-hmm. And when I started my own business, I feel so blessed to have the support by the government and build my network here. People are just incredibly beautiful. They're so willing to help. And I love they're having 4 seasons as well. A lot of places you don't really have 4 seasons.
It's another element of diversity in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think the city is very lucky to have you here building Lift Women from your heart, from your experience. And I think, we talked a bit about the fact that you've got the corporate background and started startup, but at the end of the day, startups are temporary. You either close down or you become a corporate. So eventually that experience starts to become even more valuable. My final question for you, Irene, is if you could give one piece of advice to a migrant woman sitting in Melbourne right now with a business idea and no clear path forward, what would you tell her?
First, I would tell her you are enough, more than enough. The fact that you have the courage to move to a new country, to be the best version of yourself or build something for your family, that's incredibly inspiring. So you have to believe in yourself. And if you are a woman wanting to start a business, just give it a go. And this is a beautiful city. A lot of amazing people here is wanting and waiting to support you. Just give it a go and make a difference. And you've got this.
I love that. They're brave, they're capable, they are enough. And I think that their first internet search should be Lift Women website so they can figure out how to fund their next great idea. So Irene, thank you so much for joining me today on Making It in Melbourne. And thank you for everything you're building and doing to support women entrepreneurs.
Oh, thank you for having me, Jeanette.
That was Irene Tsang, the founder of Lift Women. She's clearly a woman on a mission, and I've actually already recommended many people to her to raise funds for their businesses. The story of how success looks very different depending on who you are really resonated with me. I'm Jeanette Chia, I'm the founder of Hex, and I've been building my business in Melbourne for the last 9 years. Listening to the stories of entrepreneurs is one of the best parts of my job. On the next episode of Making It in Melbourne, we've got something pretty special for you. We're bringing back guests from Season 1, Yifei Wang from AI Build and Asami Koike from Shapes and Sounds. They're going to share how their very special collaboration has resulted in an AI-powered robot that helps elderly people with their mental health and well-being. Join me wherever you get your podcasts.